Ba Weep Grana Weep Nini Bong, I'm Engineer Hoist, and welcome to our weekly Transformers Earth Wars news stream where we talk about all the newsletter goodies from Transformers Earth Wars, maybe some toy news, not a whole lot of that this week that I saw. Might crack a few crystals and just generally hang out and talk about Transformers. So let's go ahead and start off with some shout-outs of everybody in the chat. We got a whole bunch of people here before Grand Galvatron Demise Break. We got a bunch of people coming in because they're subscribed and hit the bell icon, so they were notified that we went live. There's Red Alert, Running Penguin, King Josh, Devin PV, Foreheads here, Jameis Vega, Pete Francis Jr., Big D, Arrow, Hotshot, Soundstorm, Gloria Ramirez, Oktar Starscream, everybody, lots of familiar faces, and there's some new faces in there too, so welcome to everybody. And if it's your first time here and you like what you see, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and stick around and hang out for a while. Alright, let's go talk about the news. This weekend's event is called Defend and Protect. I have a feeling next weekend's event might have something about terror and stuff like that because of the terror cons. And this is very much a Defensor and Protectabots kind of a title. But this weekend's event is an individual event, although that's not on this slide, it's on the next one. But you do have a chance to win up to 4 million Energon and Alloy, 30,000 Spark, 2,000 Premium Crystal Shards, 1,000 3-star shards, 700 4-star shards, and a brand new Prime Core Avatar, everybody's favorite prize. And if you want more, we do have Final Thrust Crystals available. And I gotta tell you, I am very happy that they gave us some new images of the new combiner, so I didn't have to throw that Prime Core Avatar up there, because those videos always get the worst views because nobody cares about the Prime Core Avatars. Anyway, like I said, this is an individual totalizer. It starts and ends at the usual time. No prestige, it's just one big totalizer and triple XP as usual. You gotta be headquarters level 4, and since it's an individual event, you don't even need to be in an alliance, and you battle in the event the way they usually do. Okay, normal battle zones. It's not the flat 10-10-10. What's up, Big Bronze Rim? Good to see you. And here are the total prizes. There, you actually get them a lot more often than what I have here. This is just the point value that you have to reach to be able to collect each of these types of prizes. So at 100 points, which is maybe 2 battles for most people, you'll get 2,000 Premium Crystal Shards, which gives you 2 Premium Crystals. Get about to 5,000, you get your Prime Core Avatar, and so on and so forth. 8,500 points is the official end of the event, but you can keep going beyond that up to 50,000 points for some Final Thrust Crystals. What are in those Final Thrust Crystals, you ask? Spark. Anywhere from 5,000 up to 100,000 Spark are available in the Final Thrust Crystals. 100,000 is pretty rare, but it has happened, or so far as I've heard. This is a little bit different than last time we had one of these types of events, because last event we had that actually had some bronze or silver power cores as potential prizes in Final Thrust Crystals. Those were not very popular. Space Ape heard you guys, got rid of them, and just put more Spark in there. And this Prime Core Avatar where you can get at 5,000 points is the Amalgamous Prime Avatar, which I'm actually looking forward to get because I do love the Amalgamous Prime Core. Sitting there on my Sentius Magnus, it makes him practically invincible because the Amalgamous Prime Core actually heals your bot based on the amount of damage that they do in the special ability, and Sentius Magnus drops down into that siege mode for a very long time, causing a huge amount of damage, so he heals quite a bit. Now, if you happen to have Impactor, he does almost the same thing. I don't think he does quite as much damage, but he's down there in doing that damage for the same amount of time, because I'm actually leveling Impactor right now with Sentius Magnus, so it's just the two of them going, and I'm actually dropping them both down to the special ability at the same time, and they pop right back up at the same amount of time. So very similar bots, Impactor and the Sentius twins. Okay, so you may have seen this mentioned in the newsletter. I did see a couple of you guys before the stream asking about this. I do have some loot links, and some of the people who are already in my Discord server have won some of these. In fact, that's where I got this screenshot from. It's a secret stash, and I had no idea when they gave us these, but it actually shows up as Engineer Hoist's secret stash. It allows you to win the Sharkticon boosters, Spark, or Premium shards. The values of those don't really know. I think we saw somebody get 2,000, and also another person got 3,000 Spark. So it's varying levels of those in there. And basically, here, let me throw a link up for the Discord server. If you want, you can click over there, join it. If you want to do it later, there is a link down in the description, or if you're watching on the replay, it's down in the description. Alejandro Alba, welcome to the channel. Good to have you here, buddy. But yeah, so what I've done 2 different giveaways so far. Last weekend, Friday or Saturday, did a few trivia questions over there in the Discord server. Some of them were Transformers Earth Wars related, just general Transformers related, but I threw a little curveball in there to see if the people in there were watching the stream, and of course it was answered immediately, so good job for that. Plus, I also found a kind of a random picker, so it's kind of a raffle. You just go in there, you click the right reaction, and it runs. I set it up to run for a day. You can run for however long you want, but usually I'm going to do it for a day, give everybody a good chance to get in there and enter. And then it just picks a few names, and I give out the links, and you get the secret stash, and it's fun times. If you're interested in that, head on over there. The link should be universal as many times as it can work. If it doesn't, you can, I guess, hit me up here on one of the YouTube videos or whatever. So I think you guys know how to find me. But anyway, so yes, those are legitimate links. They were provided to us by Space Ape, and thank you to them for actually giving us an in-game shout-out by including that on the name of that crystal, and also for allowing us to provide fun stuff for you guys. Moving on. Okay, this is what everybody came here for because of the thumbnail, of course. Combiners! We knew these guys were coming for a while. We even saw some early renders of them last week. Defensor and Abominus. Well, we've got the official in-game image that, well, it's not really in-game. We don't have them to test yet. We don't even know all of their abilities yet. That's all going to come soon. But you can actually... anyway, here they are. Here are the profile pictures that you see on the newsletter or on the Transformers Earth Wars wiki or whatever. So there is Defensor. He is a beefy guy. Looks like he may have skipped the leg day, I think. Rook and Streetwise down there are looking a little scrawny, or maybe Hotspot's just so beefy there. But otherwise, I mean, he looks good. He does look pretty good. And look at that gun he's got there. That is big good. David the Awesome, welcome to the stream and welcome to the channel. Thank you for the subscription. And so yeah, so there is Defensor. And now I gotta tell you, Abominus looks fantastic. This guy looks great. I'm jealous of the Decepticons on this one. Don't get me wrong. I like Defensor. I'm going to be happy to have Defensor, although I do need to get Rook still. So hopefully they'll be having bundle for him coming out before too long. Plus they also are going to have, I believe they said, a event to get a guarantee, or not a guaranteed, a 4-star bot of one of these 2 teams. I think it might have been leaked actually on their stream. I think they accidentally showed that up there. But it's not a real surprise because they had it the last few times they released the Combiners too. So if I don't get Rook in one of the bundles soon, maybe he'll show up there or whatever. Or even that Hotspot. I'm still looking for that 4-star Hotspot, but I do have the 3-star at least. But I don't have any 3 or 4-star Rooks, so at this point in time, I cannot form Defensor, and I'm hoping to have him Rook in time. So yeah, Abominus looks really great, and we've got him back there. We showed him off last week. We can bring him back out here forward too if you want. So yeah, there you go. I think they look great, and like I said, based on these 2 pictures, Abominus definitely looks great. It looks the better of the two for me on these two. So, and that's it for the newsletter, really. And the last thing is, I always like to give you guys an update of whether there's a stream or not this week. And this week, that answer is no. There is no official Transformers Earth Wars live stream. It'll be next week, and you can almost guarantee that they're going to be showing off those new combiners in that stream with the abilities and everything like that. No word on exactly when they're going to come out yet. Like I said, we don't have them to test yet. We don't have the any information about the abilities yet, but they're getting close. The excitement is building. So there you go. Let me go ahead and check on this chat. I've been seeing a lot of people. Skywarp Greer is actually in here. And, you know, I gotta get you a button to share off your channel. Skywarp Greer does some great Transformers Earth Wars videos. I mentioned about the Engineer Hoist secret stash. Skywarp Greer has a secret stash of his own. You can actually click on his name, or there might be 3 buttons off to the side in the chat. You can go over there, check his channel out, and subscribe there. Sunstreaker Waza, Alpha Prime, Trios Theory also has some. And I also want to let you guys know, Transformers Earth Wars Addicts. I didn't have a link to the Facebook page last week, but I got it set up. So Dirty Spot, who comes in here a little bit, actually, so I set up a button for him. So if you're on Facebook, you can go over there, check out the Transformers Earth Wars Addicts Facebook page. It's run by Dirty Spot, and he has some secret stash as well. And all of the prizes are the same across the board. The only difference is whose name is on the crystal. So, a lot of you guys asking about Groove. Why did he die? That was the story in the game. Probably easy way to explain why Groove is not part of Defensor. My understanding is it was Hasbro who chose Rook over Groove. So there you go. Saw somebody asking about Cindersaur. Why isn't Cindersaur part of Abominus? And if I recall, Cindersaur is not actually a Terrorcon. It was actually like a fire bot or something like that. Because wasn't Cindersaur one of those bots that you rolled around, I think, shot the sparks out of the mouth, which was a very cool thing to do, and you would never see it in today's world. But there were like 2 or 3 of those like little spark bots or whatever, and I think Cindersaur was one of those. It was not an official member of the Terrorcons, so that's why you're not seeing Cindersaur, other than the fact that there's no Cindersaur in the game. So, although there was a Cindersaur recently in the Power of the Primes, which is a recolor of Slash, so it would be pretty easy to add Cindersaur in if they chose. Let's see. David Awesome, our new subscriber, did say he's only got Hunger and Ripper Snapper is 3-star, 2 down, 3 to go. That's how it goes sometimes. Best of luck to you getting the other 3, man. Sharksy saying Cindersaur is a part of Abominus is kind of like adding Blackjack to Menasor, which they did do in Combiner Wars. So, fair point. Touche, the Sharksy. Oh, man. Yeah, and I saw some of you guys saying that you saw some words about Rook and Blot bundles being this weekend. I thank you guys for sharing that. I was asked not to share that kind of information, but I can't stop you from sharing it in the chat. So, yeah. Let's see. Does Megatron have a combiner? Is he part of a combiner? Interesting question. He's never been part of a combiner as a toy that I'm aware of, and generally the answer is no, he's not part of a combiner, except for a brief story in the IDW comics where he actually was part of Devastator. There was Starscream's ghost became a member. Congratulations to you. You are the first person to join the channel as a member. Thank you so much to that. Big shout out to Starscream's ghost. If any of you guys are wondering about that, you can I think it should be a link in there. You can actually hit that channel in there. It's a small amount of money per month. I think it's like $5, so it might vary on your country or whatever. And you can also hit the join button on the video or the channel or whatever. It's totally up to you. We're still going to be doing these streams, but if you happen to become a member, like Starscream's Ghost just did, we'll do a monthly hangout, and right now it looks like Starscream's Ghost is going to have a private one, so we'll have to figure out when that's going to be, and I forget what else that I said I was going to do, because I totally forgot, because it's been a while since I set all that up. But anyway, so there you go. Thank you, Starscream's Ghost, for becoming the first member. If anybody else wants to do that, there's your option to that, and I would appreciate it greatly, but know that it's absolutely not required. Anyway, so what was I saying before that happened? Oh yeah, Megatron as a combiner. It was... Oh man, I can't remember exactly what it was. It was like the Robots in Disguise part. It was the counterpart to the More Than Meets the Eye in the IDW comics. Devastator, they lost Scrapper. Scrapper died because he was killed by Spike. IDW was kind of weird sometimes, so they actually somehow made Prowl a part of Devastator. So if you ever see anybody mentioning Prowlistator, that's where Prowl they actually made Hook a leg and Prowl became the body. But unbeknownst to everybody else, and I'm sorry if I'm spoiling it to you, but it's been many years since it's been out. But yes, indeed, Megatron actually had himself modified so that he could take control of Devastator. It happened once, and then never again. So there's your answer. Has Megatron ever been a combiner? Yes, but not only one time that I'm aware of. And somebody asked who are my favorite combiners. Well, it depends on the scenario in the game. My favorite combiner by far, so far, is Volcanicus, or Predaking if you're a Decepticon. Otherwise, as a toy, it's got to be Computron, because, and I showed this off a few weeks ago in one of the streams, because that's the only combiner that I actually completed during my childhood. It was Computron. And recently had, back then, I accidentally twisted off Nose Cone's head, and good friend Red Alert over there actually remembered that my story about that, managed to find a really good condition G1 Nose Cone, and gave it to me as a gift a few weeks ago, and I'm still super thankful to you for that, Red. Thank you. So let's see. Demise Break says if you get 4-star Blades, you're going to flip tables. You might need to change your username to Prowl then, because he's famous for flipping tables. Let's see. Are there any new Beast Wars characters? Yes, we just got Rhinox and Tarantulas. Weren't they the last spots we just got? Rhinox and Tarantulas? I can't remember. Everything kind of runs together. If they weren't the last one, they were the one before that. But yes, we just got Rhinox and Tarantulas very recently. Computron has too many brains. Yeah, that's kind of funny about that. I always did kind of think that was... I don't know if it was as a kid, but certainly recently. He's supposed to have the speed of like a supercomputer, but yet he's sitting there calculating. Meanwhile, Abominus is just going to town on him. He's just, okay, I'm trying to think about the probabilities of what are you going to do, and then I'm going to talk smack to you about how useless your attack is going to be. Meanwhile, he's just getting beat. Fortunately, he was strong, and those attacks really didn't affect him much. So, yeah, Big Bronze Rim saying, yes, indeed, Rhinox and Tarantulas were the last ones. So, Mr. Steeler, sorry if you said it already, as joining the other site. Do we think they will bring Computron? Well, as of now, there are no Technobots in the game. Not one. We did have a Strafe for a while, but that was actually Swoop, and he's back to being Swoop. So as of now, there's no Technobots whatsoever. In fact, I'm not sure if there's even... The most likely combiner next for the Autobots, they'll probably bring in like a Sky Rain or something like that, with Skylynx as the middle, and 4 other assorted Autobots as the limbs, because they did that in Combiner Wars, kind of like Optimus Maximus was only in Combiner Wars, but yet he was the second Autobot combiner, probably at Hasbro's request. And we're actually running out of combiners, guys. There's not a whole lot left. Computron's the only one I can really think of as the Autobots. There are the Seacons, Piranacon, or what's he called in Japan? King Poseidon, I think. So, and indeed, they are actually bringing out the Seacons on Hasbro Pulse. You can actually go pre-order the first two of the Seacons. We talked about that last week or a couple weeks ago, I think. The Turtler and Gulf, which were actually the Japanese names for, or at least that's the names of these toys, Snaptrap and Scalor. So, and they are going to be bringing the rest of the Seacons, meaning that Snaptrap / Turtler is the torso plus 5 limb bots, 2 arms, 2 legs, and a gun. So they are actually going to be doing that deal. The first two up are up for pre-order on Hasbro Pulse, which I think they're due out beginning of 2020, so it's still a few months away. I've got them pre-ordered, and so it's very likely that we'll be seeing the Seacons and Piranacon. They'll most likely be called Piranacon, but he might be called King Poseidon, but it's very likely that we'll see him and those guys in Transformers Earth Wars to coincide with the release of those new figures. But and then again, opposite Computron, because I think that's really the only well-known G1 combiner left. Raiden, yes, I saw Demise Break mentioning about the Train Combiner's name. That was a Japanese exclusive. Never showed up in American comics or cartoon or whatever, or even toy shelves as far as I know. But yes, it was Raiden. Yeah, Monstructor was another one who I think, yeah, okay, so you guys are reminding me there are more out there, but they're pretty obscure anyway. But not any more obscure than Optimus Maximus, who never existed until like 3 years ago. So yeah, Lita 1 Combiner, Running Penguin, good point. They're actually calling her Orthea. If you actually if you happen to get the Siege Greenlight figure from Amazon and you put in the code, by the way, if you want to go do it yourself, is Lancer, because that's another figure that's coming out. It'll actually show you the picture of that combiner, and the name of the combiner is Orthia, Orthia. So that's interesting. So thing with that one is all we have of that combiner is just Alita 1. So realistically, the only combiner that we could potentially make out of the bots currently in the game would be a Skyrain. But let me tell you something. We're getting Defensor and Abominus coming out now. You know when the last combiner was before that? It was like over a year ago when we got Victorion and Menasor, because I think my video on those was like in May of last year. So don't be looking for new combiners yet. I know it's kind of funny. Before these new ones are even out, and it happens everywhere. I've seen it in other games and stuff like that. It's like, oh, we've got this event coming up. Oh yeah, well, what's going to be the next event? Well, let's get this one done first. Kind of. So same thing with these combiners. These guys are coming out. Let's get through them. But it's fun to speculate, right? So we're already looking for the next one. But it's definitely going to be probably at least a year, because they probably brought the first few out really quick, just so we could get a nice lineup of combiners. So it wasn't just Superion and Devastator. So you guys should get 2 or 3 in there. So they're like, okay, we're good. Let's slow it down a little bit. Let's take our time. Not to mention, you got to bring in the bots for that. And we only really release 1 bot per month. And instead of just like, okay, we're just going to release all the Technobots now for the next 5 months. So they'll come. But it'll probably be at least another year before we get that. So plenty of time to speculate. So keep your eyes out on which bots come. If you start seeing Scattershot, Strafe, Lightspeed, Afterburner, Nosecone, you know Computron's coming. If you start seeing, okay, I didn't do my homework on the Seacons, Snaptrap, Scalor, Tentakill, I want to say Nightwing. No, that's not right. Sea-Wing. If you see any of the Seacons, coming, Piranacon's coming. So just keep your eyes open for which bots are going to be coming through. But it'll probably not a later. Okay, yeah, there's one. So it's kind of funny because I actually do have a G1 Piranacon, because I found him on sale. I don't know if it was clearance or just a really good sale on Big Bad Toy Store a couple years ago. It was a reissue G1 Piranacon for like $30. So I was like, yeah, okay. I've got really no connection to this guy, but I love the colors, and he's $30. So I've got him over there on my gaudy colors shelf, which is kind of what I want the Rainmakers for. I want those guys to be on my gaudy colors shelf. Yeah, what I call them, the hideously beautiful, because they're so ugly, they look great, you know. But I cannot find those guys to save my life. But you know, it's okay. I was talking with them, I think, about them with Red Alert last time we saw that, and yeah, I've been looking for them. You know, it's one of those situations where I want them, but I won't be terribly disappointed if I don't get them. I've got Starscream. Skywarp just shipped today, so he should be here soon. I got Thundercracker on pre-order. As long as I get those 3 guys, I'm going to be happy. If I can get the Rainmakers, it's going to be great. If not, I'll live. You know, so... Big Bronze Rim saying the Seacons were some of the last Transformers he got as a kid. Yeah, they did come pretty late. We got the G1 Seacon still. Very cool. Very cool. Texatron, you missed everything, buddy. Sharksy says the Seacons are watermelons. Yeah, that's pretty much the colors, right? Skywarp's got the Rainmakers and the Skywarp. Oh, all on the way to you. Oh, and I am planning on getting Red Wing as well. I actually went and applied for a red card just so I could get Red Wing. That's how dedicated. I was going to use a different word, but that's how dedicated I am. Is that I applied for a credit card just to get a Transformers figure. Oh. Oh, no, that's okay. I shop at Target all the time. It would be nice to get 5% off. So... Alright, I did mention some crystals. Now, all I've got really is this, the Guardian crystals from last week's event, so it's not going to be anything super exciting, but... oh, I hit the wrong thing, didn't I? Let's go over here. Dedicated, yes. Alright, so we'll go over here, and I do have a free crystal. We'll get that out of the way. This will probably... 2,000 Spark, that's... probably more exciting than anything I get out of here, unless I get a string of like 5 or 6 50 5-star shards. But anyway, so we'll go run through these and see how much better you guys did than I do. So because we're starting off with the 25 3-star shards. Okay, we improved to 4-star shards. That was pretty good. 150 4-star shards. I don't think I'm actually going to be there. Texatron saying to watch out for the credit card interest adds up quickly. Let me tell you something, my friend. I was deep into credit card debt quite a bit. I recently dug myself out of the hole to where I have no credit card debt except for what I revolve. I pay off everything every month. I only use them to get the benefits, like earning rewards. And like in this one case, I'll save 5% at Target. 25 5-star shards, that's actually pretty cool. So yes, I learned my lesson. It was a hard lesson to learn, but absolutely right, Texatron. If you got, trust me, any of you guys out there, if you're young and you haven't started using credit cards yet, pay it off every month. Don't just stack it up and build it up, because it is a huge hole to dig yourself out of. I mean, it took me about 5 years of dedication trying to pay that off, but lesson learned. But yeah, thank you for the reminder. So most likely the only thing will be charged on that for a while will be Red Wing. That'll get paid off next month, and then that's pretty much it. I don't know how much more I'll use it, because I might want to earn the rewards from my other cards more than I'd want to save 5%. We'll see. Depends on things. Yes, credit card debt is evil. If you can avoid it, people, avoid it. Yo, David the Awesome is asking, what do you think about the combiners for the Decepticons, Galvatronus and Mega Scream? Yeah, the Power of the Primes in Combiner Wars did have that. You could actually have Galvatronus because Cyclonus was the torso of Galvatronus, and you had a few other bots. Grand Galvatron can tell you the bots that were part of Galvatronus over there in the Unite Warriors, the Japanese version. I think it's stuff like Wandering Roller, Starscream's Ghost, actually, and a couple of other bots. In the US, Galvatronus there really wasn't any official ones. Even in the Combiner Wars comic, it was 4 bots other than what was even in the toy line. In fact, I think Astro Train became one of his limbs, which Astro Train wasn't even a Combiner lib in the toy line. So he was like a Voyager class, so it wouldn't have been possible. But anyway, Mega Scream, like with Starscream as the torso, I don't think that's going to happen. So 75 3-star shards is pretty cool. Oh look, looks like we do have a crystal. What kind of crystal do we have? We've got a 3-star crystal. Let's go ahead and use it. And 3-star crystal is a duplicate, right? Yeah. Slug. There we go. And that does give us some 4-star shards. Gets us a little bit closer. But not close enough. We're not quite halfway to a 4-star crystal. Still a long way from a 5-star crystal. Not even close to Prime Core. So that's it for the crystal cracking, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Can we do a session of upgrading Impactor? You guys want to see some gameplays? Trying to see some Impactor? Let me put it back over on the phone so you can see where Impactor is right now. There he is, Impactor. I've got him special ability 6. He's level 48, so he is getting pretty close. I don't have a power core on him yet because I did have that XP core on him during that Super XP event, so it was a big help getting him leveled. So, yeah, Red Alert needs that Skywarp. Yeah, big Skywarp fan there. Don't even need the other bots to come with him. Yeah, I was a little disappointed that it's Skywarp and like 3 of the Battle Masters. I mean, the Battle Masters are cool and you get those effect parts, but you know. So Mega Scream is made of Starscream, Shockwave, Soundwave, Thrust, and Dirge. Speaking of Decepticon combiners, one of my favorite fake combiners that I saw in the comic, and it's in the Hoist Spotlight comic from IDW. They were on this like fear planet, which it manifested your fears, and so what was it? Swerve, I think, came up with it. It said it was Over Mega 6 Wave. It was a combiner made up of Overlord, Megatron, 6-Shot, and Shockwave. So they called him Over Mega 6 Wave. So at one point during that comic, Hoist is out trying to scout resources, trying to get some help or whatever. And what does he see? He sees Over Mega 6 Wave. And he's like, what? They don't combine? And Swerve is like, it's a matter of time. You put 2 Decepticons in a room, and within an hour, one will be standing on the other one's shoulders, which Swerve is hilarious in the IDW comics. So you gotta, if you haven't read him, you know, he's very well written. But anyway, so yes, Over Mega 6 Wave is my favorite fake combiner that doesn't actually exist. I actually made a little picture of that when Power of the Primes, Dreadwind and Blackwing, I think it was. It was those 2 jets that kind of combined together. I actually took a picture of them basically standing up with one standing on top of the other ones, and I put it to that quote. You know, one of them, you know, two Decepticons in a room, one will stand on the other one's shoulder, and Blackwing, Deadwind. Thank you, Dreadwind. So, yeah. My brain doesn't work well sometimes. You know, there's a lot of information in there, and the indexing in my head doesn't work as fast as I'd like it to sometimes. But yeah, I probably I don't know if I put it on my Instagram or my Twitter or something. You can find them right there at Engineer Hoist. I'm not super active on there, but if you want to go give those a follow, you know, go for it. You know, so if I do actually put something up, you'll see it. But I'm pretty sure I posted that picture up there on one of those accounts, if not both of them. But I thought it was funny anyway. So, oh, sorry, we were gonna do some Impactor runs, weren't we? Or some Impactor power leveling runs. Now this is just regular XP, so I don't know about doing a whole lot of them. I'll do one because I don't want to waste coins on power leveling with normal single XP. But yeah, I could probably do Zone 12, but I know I can do 11. I'd rather have that win. So Power the Prime Starscream is a sin. Yeah. Not a huge fan of that Starscream version of him, but you know the Elita 1 version of it. I wonder, is Elita 1 really that much better than Starscream, or is it just we haven't ever had a good Elita 1 toy and that's good enough? Think about that. What are your thoughts on that? Is Elita 1 really a better figure than Starscream, or is it just because there's no other options for Elita 1? Okay, let's do this battle. Let's start over here.
Roll out.
And we'll fire up Impactor 2. When I was doing the power leveling, my favorite was somebody put their headquarters really close to the base, and I just dropped them right next to each other, targeted the headquarters, and it was gone like that. Oh, there's Breakdown. He's got Impactor stunned. Impactor's like, yeah, whatever, man. I'm gonna go up here and take care of this business. And here comes Megatron. Oh, and Scourge is going to try to do something. Whatever, man. Spider tank, spider tank. Is Impactor close enough? No, not quite. Since this isn't quite close enough yet either. There we go. Take it out, guys. And boom, there we go. So that is the team up of Sentius Magnus and Impactor. And as you can see, I dropped them into their ability almost at the same time, and they popped out right at the same time too. And Prime was satisfied because he gave me a well done. Okay, so let's see what these everybody's saying about this Elita 1. Okay, let's see. Starscream's proportion are weird. Sculpting on Elita is better, Centaurus Prime says, but he tends to agree with what I was thinking, that it's really more just the fact that it's Elita. Soundbot says that Elita is indeed better than Starscream. Stealth Play says they really both suck, but Elita needs a good figure. Running Penguin Power the Prime Starscream, Combiner, and Skyrain could be a good combiner pair. I don't see Starscream being a combiner in the game. Starscream is the worst figure ever in Power of the Primes, right? You can think of 3 more combiners for each side. Yeah, if we put all I think we covered a lot of them. Definitely Computron and Piranacon, I'm pretty sure are going to be the next 2. But I mean, you can get Skyrain and Galvatronus, Monstructor, and I guess that's if I was doing the Decepticons of the Monstructor and Raiden we covered, Orthia for with Elita 1, stuff like that. So yeah, there's a few out there if you really want to stretch it, but just got to remember, any combiner that ends up coming to the game, you're going to have to include each of those individual bots in the game too. So Starscream is good the way he is. In the Siege line, yes. Except for that chest piece that pops off during transformation. That's the only bad thing about Starscream, is that chest piece pops off during transformation. It is super solid when he's in robot mode. It's super solid when he's in Tetrajet mode. Oh, it's not exactly a Tetrajet, but that's what it's supposed to be. Super solid if he's in either of the modes, but it's basically a parts forming part when you're transforming. But that's okay. But yes, Siege Starscream is really good. Yeah, I'm not really sure if I could think of a bad Siege figure. Probably the only bad Siege figures would probably be Chromia and Greenlight, just because they're not really Siege figures, especially Greenlight. She's a Power of the Primes figure released in the Siege line. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Oh. Okay. One figure that is a good figure in the Siege line, but unfortunately you require 3 of him, Reflector. I've had this guy for a couple weeks. I just never really thought to bring him in here and show it off to you guys. So I only found one of these guys in the wild. I only ever found one and never again. So, and before I even found that, I had already ordered 3 of them online. So they came in a couple weeks ago. And so there's Reflector. Their guns do combine into a tripod. So that's basically, there you go. The interesting thing about this guy, because they're totally made to all 3 combine into a camera, because I mean the guns, form the tripod, the shields form the lens. But I was surprised that there were no instructions to tell you how to get into camera mode, and I did figure this out myself. I'm sure there's videos out there to tell you how to do it, and I'm sure other people figured it out themselves too. It's really not that hard, to be honest with you. But I was honestly surprised that they didn't actually have instructions on how to do this. Maybe there was online. I actually even typed in the the code for Reflector to see if they had the instructions hidden there on that site, but they didn't. So I just said about figuring it out, and so I just took one of these things. One of them is actually used to hold the tripod. The other one's kind of hidden behind here, and then the other one I just kind of put here as kind of like a shutter button. And I've seen other people do that too after I already chose to do this, but I also do like you can, this one's not my idea, I saw somebody else do this, but you can actually flip up the feet kind of like a flash, you know. So it's pretty cool. Do like that Megatron pose, you know, which I think was a copy of wasn't it like a Joker, or Joker was taking a picture. I don't know, I didn't really read those comics, but I know it's a pretty famous cover of one of the box, one cover of comics or whatever. So yeah, but Reflector is really cool how you can put them together. You kind of actually alternate them. That was the thing I had to figure, because I was trying to put them together facing the same way, and it didn't work out. So you actually alternate them, and you do kind of end up hiding the arms inside the leg. So it's not as straightforward as you might think, but it's not super hard. It's not super hard to figure out. And they definitely look good. Their little spaceship mode is pointless. You know, if you only have one Reflector, then sure, there you go. Transformed in there, but it's basically just spreading him out and laying him down and all that. But this is why you get Reflector. You got to get 3 of them, and there you go. I do also have the toy version. It actually comes as a 3-pack. They revealed it at SDCC. It's actually the toy color, where there are actually 3 different colors. It's got a few extra parts like a flash and the little reflector thing here and something like that. I do have that pre-ordered, just because it's pretty cool. And I buy too many Transformers, but it would be nice if they had those extra parts for this guy too. I'm pretty sure there's somebody out there doing like a 3D print version of them or something like that. Not real sure. Sharky's asking, what's my opinion on Siege 8-Face, Crosshairs, Spinister, and Astro Trade? 8-Face looks really cool. Crosshairs is a blue Ironhide, but you know that is a good figure. Spinister looks amazing, and I love Spinister. I still have the toy from my childhood, so I definitely have that nostalgic connection to him. Plus, he was a great character in the More Than Meets the Eye comic as part of the Scavengers. And Astro Train, you know, an interesting thing about that Astro Train, he looks really good, but then I got a closer look at him in the shuttle mode there at SDCC and some of the other pictures, and like the whole back half of him is just kind of junk sitting out there. They didn't cover it up, and so that's a little disappointing. I'm gonna get them, but because you know it's Astro Train, I like Astro Train and stuff like that. But it was a little disappointing to see that they didn't manage to cover all that stuff up. I mean, he is a spaceship, and realistically, he doesn't have to be aerodynamic. But if he's supposed to look like a space shuttle, that it was kind of smooth and it was aerodynamic, because that's the whole point. When he came back in from space, it was a plane. Glider really, but let's see, could Elita 1 get a new figure in Siege line or Masterpiece line? I think it'd be pushing it to get a Masterpiece, at least for a few years, to be honest with you. In the Siege line, yeah, absolutely. But I think they're really pushing the female Transformers lately. which is good because I mean a lot of people have been asking for him for so long. I mean, how long did it go? How long was it before we got RC? And RC was one of the main characters of the movie in season 3 of G1. You know, so plus I think I'm behind on the recent comics, but I did hear I think Elita 1 did show up recently in those comics, which are kind of a tie-in to Siege. So there's a pretty good chance we might see Elita 1 show up in the Siege line. Could we see Megatronus from Power of the Primes in Earth Wars? Probably not. They tend to be mostly sticking to G1, although they have reached over to like the Japanese G1. They did reach to Beast Wars, which technically Beast Wars is in G1. It's in the G1 timeline because they did go, you know, they did find the Ark. They're on Earth because they were from the future. They're the descendants of the Autobots and the Decepticons and went through some, you know, magical time vortex, ended up in the past of Earth, and they did actually find the Ark with all the Autobots and Decepticons all offline. So, but they did reach over to Armada for Armada Megatron, who we're calling Bullwinkle now, if he shows up in the space bridge. Stealth plays Astro Chain might be the best Siege leader class figure. Yeah, I gotta tell you, I like Shockwave. I know a lot of people are like, oh, why is he's only like Voyager size? Yeah, I'll give you that. But I like him, and the sled, I don't like him having like the octo arm, the extra arms. I like it as the sled, so he's kind of like the Green Goblin. You know, from Spider-Man comics or the Hobgoblin or whatever. I call him the Wave Goblin when he's on that sled. So Shockwave's pretty cool. Ultra Magnus is great. I love the fact that they did an homage to the original G1 figure where he was the cab did actually transform into a sort of white version of Optimus Prime, and the trailer is the armor. So I do actually like that. We'll see at what Astro Train looks like when he shows up. I'm not getting that. What are they calling it? The Galaxy Optimus Prime or the Galaxy Convoy? Running Penguin's asking, did I see the basics on Elita 1 from Chris McFeely? Yes, I did. That's how I heard that the Elita 1 showed up in the comics without actually without reading them, because he just put out that Elita 1 video. And I was like, oh, my thought was, man, I really need to catch up on those comics. Here's my pick for the next new bot in Earth Wars. You know, it could really go any way, because I don't think there's been any hints in the game yet, because they're kind of, because we just got Rhinox and Tarantulas, and we got these combiners coming. So it's going to be a little while, because where we would normally get another bot, I think is where we're going to get the combiners released. So the combiners are going to come in at where this next bot slot, you know, basically this saga is going to be about the combiners, because the story is already leading up to them working towards trying to get the Enigma of Combination, and we know who's going to win. The Protectobots and the Terracons are going to get to it, and they're going to combine. And then we're going to get the combiners in the game. Then we'll start a new saga, which runs for about a month, as they usually do, and then that's where we'll start getting hints about who the new bots are going to come into the game. So right now, the new bots coming to the game are Defensor and Abominus. So, beyond that, no idea. Stealth plays. Yes, I'm online in Discord. I just have it up over there. On the other screen. Not really doing anything. I do see some of you guys chatting in there. I see we've got some new people joined up, so good. If anybody else who may have joined before I said it, if you want to, you can join up on the Discord server. Put another link in the chat. It's also in the description of the video. I do have Engineer Hoist's secret stash loot links to give out. We did some trivia. We did some random giveaway, and you can join up there. You got to be part of the Discord server to be eligible for that, because that's where I'm doing it. And honestly, I chose to do it there because it's an easy way to just click your name, PM you the link, without having to put it out there and say, hey, first come, first serve, and then having you click a link and then have it not work. So that's why I did it on the Discord server. I already had it there, so I figured, hey, get on over there. We'll have some fun over there, and be an easy way of giving it to you. So other people, we've already given some out, so the people who've won it, they could tell you that it works pretty well. So. Yeah, Soundbot says, I'm a Transformers fan, but I'm getting Marvel and DC comic books in the mail. Yeah, you could be a fan of other stuff. I like Marvel. I like the Marvel movies. I usually watch the DC movies. Not like, I mean, I'm there in the theater watching the Marvel movies. I'm a huge Marvel Cinematic Universe fan, and I cried like a baby during Endgame, but, as I'm sure a lot of people did. I do like the DC movies, not quite as much as Marvel, but I do see them. Aquaman was really good. I've seen Justice League and Superman versus Batman, or vice versa, whatever it was, Wonder Woman. So I've seen the DC movies too. I'm an equal opportunity nerd. Is it possible for Tarn to be in Earth Wars? Now that's a good question, and I'm thinking probably not. I would love to see Tarn in Earth Wars. Tarn was one of the best new characters to come out of IDW in a very long time. I love both of my Tarn figures. One from Mastermind Creations, which is kind of a Voyager scale Tarn, and one from Iron Factory, which is kind of a Legend scale Tarn. They're both great. I am super happy with them. If I was willing to spend the money on that figure, although it's funny I mentioned it during the sit rep with Patriot Prime and say, yeah, I'd love to get that Tarn figure that really super detailed from Flame Toys, but I find it really hard to spend $500 on a figure. Literally the next week, Unicron came out and I was like, oh yeah, shut up and take my money. So but anyway, so I still can't go get that because that money's spoken for. The Chaos Bringer took the money. Sorry, Tarn. And that was a official licensed figure too, and they are actually that same company, Flame Toys. They actually put out model kits. I've got a few of them. I haven't built them yet, and I saw their first super detailed figure was Drift, and I saw they recently just put out a model kit for Drift. So I'm hoping they put out a model kit for Tarn. They've got a model kit for an IDW Optimus Prime. They've got a model kit for an IDW Megatron. Drift, who was pretty much exclusive to IDW, or at least that version of Drift before he showed up in the movies. They're putting out a model kit of that. Hopefully we see Tarn, and absolutely we'll be getting it. Biodroid, good to see you, man. You're right, long time no see. We're doing well over here. And how are we doing? Oh, we're getting close to 9 o'clock. I wanted to say that for everybody in there because I see Bo Ganora in there saying great stream. He's probably heading out of here because he has a stream coming up here starting right around 9 o'clock. And if you're interested in Dawn of Titans and what they're doing over it's another game that we play in NonToxic Gamers, and Bo does a good streams over there with Zalansap, another one of our NonToxic Gamers. I don't know if he's going to be there because usually when they tag team, it's on Zalan's channel. But go over there. The great community of the Dawn of Titans. If you're curious about what that game's about, I've got Bo's link in the chat. You can head over there. Oh, and by the way, if you're still here, I know some of you guys have come over on Tuesdays. We've been doing a kind of like a NonToxic Gamer leadership meeting, but we've started streaming it. We're actually turning it into a kind of a weekly thing. So check out the NonToxic Gamers YouTube channel. Check that out. So Tuesday nights about 9 o'clock Eastern time. So it starts an hour later than this stream does. Over there on the NonToxic Gamers channel, I'm there, Bo's there, APOC, Soldier is in the chat. Soldier is in the chat there. He's one of our leadership. He does Transformers Earth Wars videos as well. And so yeah, stop on over there. It's not all about Transformers Earth Wars. It's kind of just about gaming in general. Last week's conversation was about stream setup, so you could actually see what I'm looking at right now when I'm talking to you guys. So if you go, I'm not sure if we've got that stream available for replay yet, but we've planning on talking about topics like monetization strategies. I think is next week. Optimus Prime saying my fuel cells are full. I was just sitting there, fuel. So is the game telling me fuel cells? But yeah, so we're just to talk about. Plus, we give updates on different games that we're playing because obviously I'm the Transformers Earth Wars guy. Soldier plays a whole bunch of games, and Bo is on talk about Dawn of Titans, and APOC plays a lot of simulator type games. What's his it was like a PC simulator or PC builder simulator, and so anyway, you can hear about all this stuff, good tips, just to hang out. You get a chance to ask questions, just like you guys do now. So anyway, had to get that plug in there. So it's fun time. So all right, guys, and with that, I think it's about time to sign off. Everybody head over to Bo's channel, go support him, and hang out there, give him some views, and tell him Hoist sent you. It's not really going to be a surprise because he's here. He saw me tell you to go over there. But anyway, go say hi anyway. And with that, I think it's time to end the stream. I'm Engineer Hoist. Keep rolling, my friends. We'll see you next time.